Okay, now I am live. It just took me 4 minutes to figure this out. I still don't have the schedule your live stream down to a science, so bear with me, okay? Well, welcome everyone. I am doing some things right now because today's topic is really dear to me, especially. I mean, if you know me, and let me share this real quick. Oh, somebody's watching. If you know me, you know that I've always proclaimed that I am an angry person. Hi, Abby. I am, and when I say I am an angry person, what I'm saying is that I experience anger a lot. And as a woman, I believe that we haven't been taught how to handle those things, how to handle the whole anger issue. Actually, the whole stereotypical angry woman stereotype of an angry woman has been used against us as women for millennia. We are not allowed to be angry. We are not allowed to express our anger, and we are overly dramatic. We are crazy bitches if we dare to be angry, if we dare to show up in our full-fleshed emotion. And that's what I wanted to talk to you today, because that's a stigma I've lived with for a long time, even though I am a very angry person. What does this mean? You know how sometimes you can find yourself in a very comfortable place with emotions? Let's say, Abby, you that are watching, what would you say is your number one emotion? What is the emotion that you go to when in most of your day-to-day, okay? For me, it's anger. Because anger is comfortable for me. Anger is the emotion that I've learned to use when it comes to reacting and responding to life. My dad is a very angry person. My mom is a reactive person. So anger comes in slow, not in slow, but it comes for her like in a burst. Like when my mom gets angry, you better be ready for what she has to bring to the table, because it's gonna be an explosion. But why did I want to talk to you about this today? Awesome, that's great, Abby. I'm always discussing anger in my therapy every day, all day. My therapist knows that about me. Well, that's great. Welcome to the conversation, if that's the case. Well, the reason and why I wanted to talk about anger and the stereotypical role it has in women's life is because I realized that because I'm an entrepreneur, anger is a fucking awesome thing. Anger is that one powerful, active emotion. I don't know how many of you have watched the movie Inside Out. It's a super fun, cartoon movie, and it's all about emotional intelligence, okay? And I love it because a lot of people say that it's emotional intelligence for kids, whereas for me, it's emotional intelligence for grown-ups, because we do not have enough of that education in ourselves. So when I talk about, and why I bring up Inside Out, the movie, it's because, and I'm going to give you a brief summary, the main characters of this movie are the emotions in a teenage girl's mind, okay? So we see the main emotions acting up in her brain. So we have sadness, happiness, disgust, fear, and anger, okay? What you realize when you watch this movie is that the only emotion that makes the main character take action, albeit not the smartest one, is anger. There is a point in the movie when she decides to do something, and she decides to do something because anger pushes her. As an entrepreneur, I've realized that anger is such a big part of the success that I've had in my life, and even as a person, when it comes to pushing me forward, to doing the things. Anger is an active emotion. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. We want to get out of it so quick, so fast, because it locks your shoulders, and the reaction of your body is so strong when your shoulders are locked, when your lower back is in pain, when your face hurts because you can't stop frowning. It's so uncomfortable that we push ourselves to move out of it. Okay, so we take action. It's an action forward emotion. Unlike, say, sadness, which usually is a very internal emotion and you're just laying in bed or laying in your couch for a little while, or fear, which paralyzes us. You see, every emotion has its role, but anger's role is to move you forward. Anger's role is to make you productive, okay? So when I talk about anger, when I talk about the role that it has in your life and in your productivity, I want you to think about what is your relationship to anger, okay? Are you usually toning it down for people? Are you usually hiding your feelings? Are you being passive aggressive when it comes to the times in your life when you're angry? How do you relate to anger? Because there is a great key there. There is a great way for you to find out why your productivity levels might be low. Okay? When we are suppressing an anger, when we do not know how to channel it, and that is the second part of this talk, we tend to be unproductive. We tend to beat ourselves up, or worse, we tend to put that anger towards ourselves, and that's when mistreatment comes on. That's when we stop taking care of ourselves. So I want you to be very honest with yourself. What is your relationship with anger? Were you taught that girls are not angry? Were you taught that only boys fought? Were you taught that you are supposed to be a delicate flower that does not get pissed? Well, of course, what I'm going to say right now is bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that, because all of humanity, every single one of us is capable of feeling these emotions, because these emotions serve us. Mine has been too reactive within my family. This is Abby saying about her relationship with anger. I'm going to read a little more, Abby. Mine has been too reactive within my family. I'm actually learning about how anger protects me from feeling out of control. Bingo! Yes, Abby, oh my God, this is exciting, because that's exactly what I wanted to bring about. Anger usually comes from a feeling of being out of control. Okay, and that is, anxiety and all that fun stuff that comes with being out of whack. That is where anger comes from. And I started realizing that, not only because I am a recovering perfectionist and I am a control freak, but I realized this while I was taking care of my husband's grandmother, who is an elderly lady. And I realized, as I dived into the science of aging and learning how to act with her and how to best relate to her, that she was very angry because she was losing her memory. And when you start losing your memory, the sense of being out of control comes in, so you get angry, okay? So anger is closely related to our need to be in control, hence why we use it to move forward. And this is what I want to talk to you about today in detail. How can you start channeling your anger rather than let it destroy you and your relationships? Okay, because it's really important. We do this all the time. We get angry, we blow up, it's non-productive, we end up apologizing to people, or if we're not evolved enough. And when I say evolved enough, I mean when we do not have a good relationship with humility, we just are left with a resentment, and we are left with poor relationships. So anger can be just as creative as it can be what's the word? Destructive? Destructive is the word. So when I talk to you about how to better channel anger, the first thing that you need to realize is that anger is a very physical emotion, okay? Like I mentioned, I don't know how it manifests for you in your life. Thank you, Abby. Destructive. How it manifests to you in your life, but my shoulders get locked. I get locked. I get migraines. My lower back shuts down. Anger really wreaks havoc in my body. So you want to realize that one of the very important elements of dealing with anger is being very aware of your body and how it manifests, how anger shows up for you. Why? Because you want to loosen up those knots in order to start seeing that energy for the creative energy that it is. So one of the things that my therapist works with me and Abby, you might relate to as you work through that, is putting that anger in a physical manifestation. So, and usually creativity works best. I go to the gym, that's my thing. I go to CrossFit and I let it rip. But if you like dancing, if you like singing, if you like painting, like think about abstract painting, just throwing things at the wall. If you might be curious about all those things, then anger is those are things that you can use to channel your anger. But I'm not talking about, when I talk about dancing, I'm talking about dance on your own, hip hop, things that bring up energy. Just get yourself pumped up, because anger has the ability to lock us down, okay? So you want to free it and key it out. Now here's that was a physical aspect of it. You need to move when you're angry. You need to get yourself out of the lockdown. This is exactly what we are talking about in therapy. This is Kismet. And yes, working out is what helps me. Exactly. My therapist wants me to paint, but workout is my thing. Thank you, Abby. I love that this is synchronicity for you. And for me, because anger is something that I've always worked with in my life. Okay, so that was a physical component of it. Now here's the mindset part of it, okay? And in metaphysics, you will always hear people tell you that when you get angry at somebody, you're giving away your power, because you are not in control of yourself, however much you think you are. But what I am proposing to you today is realizing that there is a reason for that anger. There is a reason within you, and Abby already brought it up, which is the idea of not being in control. So how can you start creating more of that productivity effect that will get you towards a sense of ease, of I am doing things? First off, you need to realize that this has nothing to do with anyone else, okay? You're angry because you're angry. You're angry because there's buttons in your mind that have been pushed because of whatever belief system you have, because of whatever relationship you've created with the person or the thing that we're talking about. You are angry because of internal responses that you've created over time to protect yourself, like Abby mentioned, okay? So that is the first mindset realization and awareness work that you want to do. Realizing that anger and any other emotion has nothing to do with the object, but with the subject, okay? So think about it this way. When you get angry at something that somebody did, let's say if I get angry with my best friend, which has happened a lot, and I'm going to give this example. My best friend and I have gotten divorced a million times over a 10-year relationship. And I remember that there was one time that I got really mad at her, and I was the one that moved away, and I was always angry in our relationship. I was always trying to control her. I was the one that pulled away, because she was dating a person that I did not approve of, okay? I was completely pissed because she was being a moron, she was being stupid. How dare she be dating this person? She knew that this person was not good for her and whatnot. How much of that did it have to do with me loving her and me not feeling like my opinion counted, me not feeling like I could save her? People that live a lot in anger are natural saviors, but it's very hard for us to realize that we are not trying to really save anyone else. We want to validate ourselves, okay? We want to validate the fact that we exist in someone's life for a purpose, and if we are not fulfilling that purpose, we feel like there's no reason for us to be there. So that is the first thing that you want to figure out when it comes to your mindset. It has more to do with you when you're angry than it will ever have to do with anyone else, okay? The second thing is, okay, so how do I channel this anger into a productivity energy? And this I will always go back to. What is your vision? What is the thing that moves you? What is the thing that gets you up every morning? If you do not have this clear, it's very hard for you to move into productivity mode because you won't know what to do with this energy. So my invitation to you is creating a vision, and you can go into my past videos and you can look at how to create your vision, and it's obviously it's a live document, so you can change it and edit it. But being very clear on what you want will usually guide you towards what are the steps that you need to take to get there. So you can use this energy, you can use this anger towards that productivity rather than let it paralyze you, let it destroy your relationship. And once you've used that energy, your mind will be at ease enough for you to look at the new picture. for you to be able to see, okay, so these are also the steps that I need to take in this relationship, or these are the steps that I need to take. And sometimes it's not fixing a relationship. Sometimes it's not fixing the job. Sometimes it's just quitting. Sometimes it's breaking up, okay? But once you use that pent-up energy, you will be able to come back down from the high, because anger makes us feel high, makes us feel powerful. And if you come back down from that high, you will be able to see, okay, so what is it that I need to do about this particular situation? Okay? My invitation is feel your anger. Don't bottle it up, okay? So this is everything I'm telling you today. It's about how to best use your anger, not how to best hide it, how to best smother it, okay? Because that's when anger becomes destructive. I mentioned to you at the beginning that my mom has a very bottled up angry energy. So for her, it just blows up, and when it blows up, it takes us maybe 2 weeks to come back down to, okay, so what the fuck did just happen? So you want to be very mindful and realize that your emotions, even though anger is powerful, is not a fact. So you can shift from one emotion to the other. But right now we're talking about how to be productive when you're angry. If you're a woman, own it. If you're an entrepreneur, fucking use it. Because angry people get shit done. I want you to figure this out. Angry people get shit done. And this brings me to the other side of it, okay? So what happens when you are always angry? What happens when you've used anger for so long that you don't know how to disconnect from it? And this happened to me. This happened to me for so long that I couldn't get out of anger. I was raging all the time. Everything just take me up the wrong way. So what happens is that when you learn to step away from anger, you stop being productive. So this is the third thing that I want to tell you. Even though you need to learn how to use anger, you cannot rely on anger to be your only source of energy. This is when willpower comes to play. This is when you start owning the power of your mind so that you can do the things that you need to do even when you do not have that anger, which usually is called motivation, even when you're not motivated enough, okay? Hi, Rosmari. You want to be sure to hone your mind, to train your mind through exercises of breathing, meditation, attention. However, and if you want to talk about those, just drop me a message and we can totally talk about how you can best hone the power of your mind. But even though anger is a very powerful emotion that will move you forward and that can be productive, you do not want to rely on it 100% to get shit done. Because your body cannot resist being angry 100% of the time. There's going to be a breakdown. There's going to be something that's going to happen that's going to fuck you up if you stay in anger all the time. So after you recognize what anger does to you, after you recognize how you can best use anger, you need to be able to tap into that whenever you want without the destructive components of it. Okay? So I have this exercise for you, and it's an exercise of visualization, okay? So what I like doing is when I know I need to get shit done, and I am not in the mood to do that, and I'm not angry, I'm my husband, best friend, or anyone else, I close my eyes, okay? So I do this exercise, and I close my eyes. I take 10 deep breaths, and I connect to my solar plexus, which is the area in our stomach, like right below our belly button, but not quite at our pelvis. So I connect to my solar plexus. I close my eyes. I take 10 deep breaths, and I connect with the energy of anger, separating myself from the emotion. Okay, so I do that for as long as I need to do it. So maybe it will take me a minute, it will take me 3 minutes, it might take me an hour. Okay, if I'm really just a happy-go-lucky human being, I connect to the energy of anger, of anger, and I can see it. I mean, I want you to visualize as you do that with your eyes closed and you take deep breaths. I want you to visualize the energy, and if you want, you can put a color to it. Mine is red, because red is the color of emotion, and it's the base chakra. I'm usually very angry when I don't feel supported, when I feel out of control. So that is the color red. So I start visualizing red coming over my body with my eyes closed, and it's just this light that fills me up. What happens is that I connect to the emotion of anger without relating to a story of anger, without having to visualize a fight, without having to visualize, let's just say, a mistake that I made that makes me angry at myself. I connect with my vision, and then I connect with the energy that's required to make my vision come true. And usually it's an energy that's very similar to anger. So when I get out of that emotion, when I get out of that exercise, I'm ready to go. I'm pumped. I have this red glow all over me. I sit down in my computer and get shit done. I get that phone call done. So my invitation to you is to learn how your body reacts to anger. Learn how anger manifests in your actions. Connect to that. It's going to be a non-judgment exercise as you start seeing it from the outside without judging yourself, because you're a fucking human being. This is a level too further where I am with the process. Don't worry, girl. I'm definitely going to think about this. Just use it when you're ready. It's taken me a while, Abby. I've been a very angry person for a while in my life, and angry is still my go-to. Actually, I'm doing the total opposite of the work that you're doing. I'm working on connecting with my sadness. I'm working on connecting with more passive energy. But I think it is important that we learn to access our active energy and our penetrating energy and our masculine energy as much as we learn to access the reactive, receiving energy of our femininity, which is my goal in 2018, is to access my feminine energy. So maybe you and I should talk about the opposite. So when you do that, when you recognize your emotion, when you recognize yourself in anger, then you connect that to your vision. Every time you feel angry, you need to ask yourself, okay, so what can I do with this emotion? Where can I put this energy? And you move towards that instead of moving to a disruptive activity. If you put this to tackle things of your to-do list, then you are regaining the sense of control you need to then take a breather and look at the big picture and see how you can fix or the actions that you need to take about the particular situation. Then I would invite you, after you've done the personal work, and like Abby, I think that after you read this comments, people that are gonna follow you and ask you what the hell are you doing, point them in the right direction. I would do the same. It's important for you to learn how to connect to the feeling, to the emotion, and not the story. Okay? Use the energy, not connect to the story, not take it personally, not blow up. Okay? So anger can be a very productive emotion. It is a forward-moving emotion. So my invitation to you is, if you're a woman that's been taught that women should not get angry, that women should be delicate flowers, tell them to fuck off, because you have emotions because you are human and they have a purpose in your life. So you should not smother any one of them. You should just learn how to use them, how to understand yourself, how to be compassionate with yourself when you find yourself in those emotions, and how to see everything that happens in your life as a lesson that needs to be learned. Okay? You are a human. Anger is normal because you are a human. So stop denying that, start using it, go kick ass. Abby, thank you for watching. Everyone, have a great day.